My name is Joe and I'm from Chicago. Having traveled to over 36 countries across all 7 continents, I decide to further explore my own neighborhood, so I embark on what ends up being a 9,000-mile road trip over 31 days across North America. No planning, no reservations, and no set itinerary. To make things interesting, I randomly pick challenges that I must complete along the way. Join me on this great American road trip. Well, here I am packing, about to leave Bellingham, and then I'm going to head to the Boeing plant to get a tour before heading to the West Coast. And finally being able to do that drive along the entire West Coast, which I've been wanting to do for many, many years. I arrive at Boeing's Everett facility, and one of the first sights I see is the Dreamlifter. This massive aircraft is a modified 747 that transports oversized 787 Dreamliner parts manufactured from around the world to this facility for final assembly. So I'm here at the Boeing assembly plant in Washington State. I just wrapped up a tour of the largest building in the world by volume, where Boeing manufactures the various aircrafts in its lineup. The building next to it is where the planes get painted, and the planes out front are ready for delivery. Circling back to the Dreamlifter, you can see the cargo door open and the 787 fuselage and wing parts in the garage. An amazing feat of engineering. Having spent so much time at the Boeing facility, most of the day is gone and I hit evening rush hour in Seattle. Out of boredom, I analyzed the Kia's dashboard menu items. Door, tailgate, lights, seat, steering, other features. Can't edit any of the menu items at all while you're driving. Accepting that I will not be able to put the miles in today, I stop for dinner at the fishing hole and book a room in Ocean Shores so that I do not have to drive all night looking for a vacancy. After dinner, I am back on the road. While it's another evening where I drive late into the night, I at least have a guaranteed place to stay. Welcome to Ocean Shores. There you go. Salt Lake City aside, finding a barbershop that is conveniently located on my route and open when I find it is proving to be difficult. I will need to figure something out tomorrow morning after I get some much needed rest.
Here goes nothing. The beard is coming off after having it for almost a year and a half.
I don't have any trimming equipment, so I have to do the unthinkable.
I just couldn't find a barber with convenient location, so...
I decided to shave it off today, and I don't quite recognize the person behind it. I pull a challenge before driving off. Today's challenge is to find an older person at a diner and ask for a story and then pay for their meal. In other words, I need to have breakfast at a restaurant. What better place than a place called Our Place? I spot 2 gentlemen at the restaurant and walk over to introduce myself. They are very appreciative but do not want the challenge to be filmed. Challenge complete, I guess. After a few miles, I encounter an unwritten challenge. I see 2 girls with a flat tire on the side of the road. I pull over to see if I can help. Hi.
Hey.
You guys need a hand?
If you know how to change a tire. Unless you guys know.
Help is on the way to change the tire, but given the remoteness of where we are, still 3 hours out, so I tell them that I can change it for them in a few minutes. We empty the trunk so that I can see what kind of shape the spare is in. The spare is just fine, but there is no jack to lift up the car. I walk back to grab the jack out of my car and confirm that it will fit the lift points, and ask the girls to drive forward a bit to where the shoulder widens to give me more room to work. I also pull my car out a bit into the road to protect myself from all the traffic, like the 18-wheeler hauling logs. So what's the game plan after this then?
Get a new tire.
Yeah.
Yep. And so we're meeting.
As I change the tire, the girls tell me about the wedding they are driving to in Oregon and all the family members who are coming in.
Tomorrow in Portland with her brothers.
After a few minutes, the spare tire is mounted. While not an official The Great American Road Trip Challenge, the Good Samaritan Challenge is complete. After an eventful day, I stop at Cannon Beach to take in the beauty of the West Coast with some peace and quiet. As the sun sets, I look for lodging in every small town I pass, but none have any vacancies. This has been an issue the entire trip since I've been off the beaten track much of the time. Tired and not wanting to drive anymore, I decide to turn into an RV park in Rockaway Beach, Oregon to see if I can park there and sleep in my car. The nice lady offers me a spot and a key to the bathroom and shower for only $10. I head to the beach to enjoy the view. Then it's time to make my bed and drive back to the RV park.
Here are my accommodations for tonight. My curtain, which is just my shorts. My other curtain over there that's blocking the street light, which is just my shirt. Up front, there you can see my fridge. And my closet, which has my clothes. And my suitcase.
Well, I just woke up in my 5-star accommodations. And it's raining.
I get ready and take a shower before I grab a hearty breakfast. I have a lot of driving to do in order to make it to San Francisco for the weekend to meet up friends and family. After a long scenic drive, I call it a night in Brookings, Oregon.
Anyway, I got in late last night. It was very late. And so, tired. Trying to make it to San Francisco by tonight. I'm not sure if that's going to be possible. So tomorrow's Saturday. I'm trying to get there for the weekend since I have some folks, some friends, some family there, and they're not working on weekends. So I'm trying to get there for the weekend to see them, which is why a little bit of the hurry.
It's time to discover the next challenge.
You are a lover of car chases in movies. This is true. Create your own fake car chase pretending that you're being chased. I'm pretty excited about this challenge, but it's going to be kind of hard because I only have one GoPro camera. So the continuity will be a little bit difficult. But this is not a Hollywood production yet.
The difficulty doesn't end there. Not only do I have one suitable camera, I have just one car being driven by one driver, me. And by definition, you need at least 2 cars for a chase. That makes all aspects of a car chase scene somewhat difficult. I can use one of my challenge redraws, but I have not yet used any, and I don't want to start now. I think about it and come up with a plan.
I think I got this covered. I think I have some visitors.
Roger, burning point.
0933, 5632.
I don't mean to rain on your parade, but I have no idea what those numbers mean.
Silver Hollow Road, between Lane Road and Crosspatch Road.
10-4. Should have said that in the first place. The Silver Hollow Dirt Road.
Quick turn. I'll just make a turn there and I'll lose them.
10-4.
That is the car chase. Challenge complete.
I have a feeling that there are lingering questions on the car chase, so here is additional commentary. I wanted to have dialogue to explain to the audience what was going on, so I got the idea to use a walkie-talkie since I have no one riding with me. The walkie-talkie was off the entire scene and all radio voices were added in post-production. I also had no idea who was in the car behind me and they were not in on this. This is probably the first car chase scene in the history of humanity that involves only one person all in. Congrats, you're a part of history, folks. I drive late into the evening on Friday to make it into San Francisco, giving me the weekend to spend with friends and family. I will spend the weekend at my cousin Emily and her husband Dave's place. I sleep in the next morning to get some much needed rest and then head to Half Moon Bay to visit Brian, a buddy of mine from college, to grab lunch and catch up. Brian and I went to college together and were roommates when we studied abroad in Rome, Italy. I asked him what his most memorable moment is from his travels with me.
We actually did a fair amount of traveling together. So let's see. You know, I'd probably have to say Cinque Terre, just because it was such a beautiful place, and I think for part of the trip we were there with friends. We were there with Tom Sullivan and some other guys.
Do you remember that midnight run into the last town?
I remember the midnight run from Vernazza to Rio Maggiore, I think. It's the last town. It was failed. It was an aborted attempt.
Which was a good thing.
Which was a good thing, because we would have died. And the next morning, I don't know if you remember, we went to a mass, and there was a wedding, right?
Yep.
A wedding, it was just kind of like they fitted in with the regular church service. And then we kind of followed them back up the street, the wedding procession, and went back up into the town of Vernazza, and the bride and groom threw candies out from their balcony, right? Yeah. So I have fond memories of hanging out with you in Vernazza.
And that most memorable moment is approved by me.
After Brian and I reminisce about our college years and catch up, I head out to visit family in San Jose. I take the scenic route instead of the highway to get there and have an amazing home-cooked meal waiting for me once I arrive. The next morning, my cousin Emily, Dave, and I head to Napa to visit a few wineries. Now that we're in Napa Valley, cue the classy music. Somehow, Emily gets a hold of my phone.
Hello. Unless you're saying one man is straight somehow. All right, Emily and Dave, what's your take on this winery?
This is a very good winery, mostly known for their whites.
Do you agree, Dave?
Yeah, I think I do.
I thank Emily and Dave for their hospitality and head out on the final leg of my trip. It's just over 2,000 miles to Chicago, and there are still multiple stops I'd like to make along the way. Brian's response to my question about his most memorable moment from our travels is still on my mind. I remember the smile on his face when he describes our Cinque Terre experience. What is it about travel that makes us smile when we think back on the memories? What makes the time we spend traveling so unique? At least for me, day-to-day life tends to get so busy that I am not always able to appreciate life's journey. I'm constantly thinking ahead to the next task that needs attention. This is another reason why I enjoy traveling, especially on extended trips like this one, where time seems to slow down just enough to allow me to be present in the moment, put things into perspective, and capture the experience. Perhaps that is why these memories last a lifetime, and why they make us smile. Well, here I am in Effingham. No, it's not Effingham. Where am I again? Well, here I am in Bellingham.